Oh man. No, we really work on support with our customers. The VM line really is economical, and that's great. Great prices is always important. I understand that, but you really got to have good service. You got to have good quality machinery. We're actually running the demo in here right now, and it's machining these pens, and they're probably 25 millimeters long, going all the way down to 0.6 millimeters, vertically circle interpolating that down without any pen bending or anything. They're just not snapping off, and that's in aluminum.
We're at LK Machinery in Edinburgh, Indiana. I'm standing here with Andy in front of the VM3. Now, Andy, what can you tell me about this machine? Who out there would benefit from looking at LK when it comes to vertical machines?
That question goes to a lot of our shops, and we really like this particular lineup for the job shops, for the aerospace shops. You know, if you're doing high production, high volume, high throughput, this isn't really your machine. It'll do the work, but we're looking for, this is going to be your job shop machine. This is your bread and butter, everyday running machine. I've got one of these out in the market right now. Over 14 years. You know, I actually lost track of the guy.
Oh, geez. How do you lose track of a customer, Andy?
Well, the guy never calls me, you know.
Okay.
And he calls the other day. Somebody ripped the parameters out. We put him right back in business. But you know what? He's been running 14 years with the same machine, and it's like, where's he at? It's like the Maytag man, you know.
But I love that when he did finally reach out, LK was there to pick it up, get him the parameters.
Absolutely.
Because that's a nightmare trying to recover that. Now, look, I've been in a machine shop working, and I had someone wipe the machine.
Yeah.
They told me, good luck, go find it.
Oh, man. No, we really work on support with our customers. The VM line really is economical, and that's great. Great prices is always important. I understand that. But you really got to have good service. You got to have good quality machinery. We're actually running the demo in here right now, and it's machining these pens, and they're probably 25 millimeters long, going all the way down to 0.6 millimeters, vertically circle interpolating that down without any pen bending or anything. They're just not snapping off, and that's in aluminum.
That is impressive. I mean, aluminum, normally you start getting too small, you start getting the stresses, they snap off halfway down, and that's it. That's the end. That's all she wrote.
That's right.
That's
so it's a really stable, solid machine. You know, one thing I haven't brought up yet on the machines we've been talking about, we have complete control over the castings on these machines. We are doing our own castings.
Really? So what does that make available for you, doing your own castings as a company?
What that does for us, when we make our own castings, that puts us in control of what we need to do. Okay, if we need to adjust something, that's just a simple matter of going to our engineering plant, our engineering group, going to the plant, getting the casting fixed and moved on with. It's not a complicated thing for us because we own it, right? So that gives us a lot of control over the cost and those types of elements. But I think it speaks to also the commitment that LK has to our lineup of machinery, not only in die cast and plastic injection machines, and we do a lot of that work as well, but the CNC is not just like an afterthought. This is a major part of our business. We're bringing it to the US. We really want to get these machines out there where people can appreciate their quality. We'll show them what the real service is really like. I think they're really going to enjoy the experience.
I don't have any doubt. I mean, some of the installs you have overseas are massive. I know as the American people out there start trying these machines, they're going to fall in love like so many other people around the world have done. When we're looking at this machine, though, is this a machine like some of the ones in the market where we could put a fourth axis on here if we decided in that job shop environment?
Yes. Fourth axis, you know, an additional axis, a fifth axis. The control's already capable of that. We have the FANUC OIMF Plus control already on here. That's standard. And it's also standard with the IHMI. That comes on our control.
Okay.
That gives you conversational ability. And that conversational turns into G code. So
perfect.
Old school, new school, whatever, we got it covered.
Well, and the nice thing about the FANUC controller is it's a very popular brand here in North America.
Yes.
That means, okay, maybe it's a new machine tool brand, you're building that trust with LK, but you still have that reliable control that your guys are already used to running on the shop floor.
That's correct. It's interesting you say that. I have a customer I'm dealing with right now, large aerospace customer, and maybe it was a management decision, whatever it was. I don't really understand it because they've got buyers in different countries and things. But they bought a new machine that was completely different than everything else they had been running for over 20, 30 years. that had FANUC controls, and they went with a whole new control. You want to talk about a headache? Nobody knew how to run it. Nobody knew what to do with it. And I kept thinking, man, you've got to get back on your FANUCs, because for their programmers, for their operators, everybody in that shop, they're looking for a FANUC. And here we've got this one control that's completely different. So as you say, it's very popular in the United States. FANUC's always there, lifetime support, you know, all the good FANUC stuff. The features and everything else is there. We do a good job of including all that into the control as we're producing it. So it's not just a talking point or a sales point, right? It's really important for our customers. And I feel like they're most comfortable with that. We have other options, but really FANUC in the US is where we're at.
Andy, one last question for you then before we finish up here. When it comes to the VM series, what range does LK offer?
Okay, yeah, good question. We offer these from a small range to a large range, and we can build really, really big machines. So standard offering is the VM2.
Yeah.
The VM3 is the 4020. That's where your standard machine shop. Right here, the VM3, that's your bread and butter machine, right?
Yeah.
40 inches of travel in X, 20 in Y, 20 also in Z. But then we go on up. We go to the VM5, the VM6. We get to some really big machines, 50 plus inches of travel in X. And also additional travel in the Z. So that's got a wide range. That's just in the VM line, though. That doesn't limit us to the other machines we make as well.
Well, okay, and I kind of lied. I got one more question for you. I realized we didn't talk about spindles yet.
Okay.
What kind of spindle options do we have from LK when we're looking at machines?
Spindles are a really important part of the machine. You know, the greatest casting, the greatest linear rails and controls go nowhere without a spindle, right?
And vice versa, though.
That's true. That's very true. I mean, it's all got to be top quality, or you're not having a matched machine,
Yeah.
right? That's what we do. But our spindles really are top-notch spindles, very industry standard type spindles, not knockoff, quality bearings, got speed and all those kind of things. We can go, I think 12,000 is standard on the RPM, 15,000 is available, 20,000 is available. So we know how to get spindles up there, especially when you're doing like high efficiency milling tool pass. You really need that additional spindle. If you're doing aluminum, things like that, you've got to get that extra spindle speed. Carbide is getting to the point now where you're flying. I mean, 200 inches a minute is not unusual. 400 inches a minute is not unheard of. And I've even heard of higher numbers than that in feed rates. So your spindle's going to have to be right up there with it. I got a quick story about that. Recently, we had a customer called, and he said, I got a problem with my spindle. I'm like, oh, man, no problem. We'll hook you up. What's going on? He said, well, it's kind of my fault. And I said, well, what do you mean? So we were working on some particular thing, and for whatever reason, they had to disconnect the chiller off of the spindle because these have chillers on them.
Yeah.
They took the chiller off and then hot wired it so it would run so they could do whatever particular project they were doing. Of course, there's nothing more permanent than a temporary situation, right?
Yep.
So they left it that way and ran that spindle for over 2 years before they burned it out.
2 years with an override.
The only reason they knew that they had a problem was the spindle finally said, hey guys, I'm done. Okay, I'm done. I've done all I can do for you. So, but we got the spindle prepared, fixed, easy to go. But yeah, it just illustrates quality.
Yeah.
If that had bad bearings in it, if it had cheap components in it, it would have been toast within the first few hours.
No, it makes a lot of sense why LK's had such success all around the world. We've got a quality foundation, you've got a quality spindle, you've got a quality controller like FANUC, and you've got the customers' backs when they call in.
That's right.
And you're going to be there to support them. Thank you so much, Andy.
Hey, I appreciate it.